The last leader was in the job a mere 18 days, yes, days, before she decided it was all too much. The favourite to succeed her then quit the party after a now infamous bust-up in the European Parliament. UKIP's biggest donor says the party is at, quote, breaking point. So, if anyone, who can rescue UKIP? This morning, former Deputy Chair Suzanne Evans, well, she announced that she would be running for the leadership. Here she is, talking to Andrew Marr.
I've thought long and hard about this leadership bid, and one of the reasons I've perhaps delayed announcing it is because I wanted to be absolutely sure that I have the support from members to stand. And I can confirm that I have more than enough signatures on the nomination form already to be able to go forward. Let's not forget that 3,000 people signed a petition in support of me when I was suspended. I know head office was besieged with letters in support. I would not be doing this if I didn't have the backing of our members, because our members are the most important people in our party.
That was Suzanne Evans earlier this morning. Paul Nuttall was Nigel Farage's deputy for many years. Many people saw him as a leader in waiting. He joins me now. Paul Nuttall, welcome.
Good morning.
Are you going to run?
Yes, I am. I've made the decision that I'll put my name forward to be the next leader of UKIP. I have huge support out there across the country, not only amongst people at the top of the party in Westminster and with the MEPs, but also amongst the grassroots. And I want to stand on a platform of being the unity candidate. UKIP needs to come together. I'm not going to be on here and gild the lily. UKIP at the moment is looking over the edge of a political cliff. It will either step off or it will step back, and I want to be the candidate that will tell us to come backwards.
You said it faces an existential threat, which would mean that it's possible that it has no future at all.
Well, students of political history know that political movements or political parties take a long time to get going and build. It's taken us over 20 years, but they can disappear pretty quickly. And UKIP is facing an existential crisis. What happened over the summer has put us on we could be getting onto a spiral which we couldn't get off. But I believe that I am the man to bring the factions together, to create unity within the party, and to build and restructure and get us ready for the coming challenges.
Why didn't you stand last time?
Because I've spent the last 4 or 5 years of my life travelling around the country. I've done more UKIP public meetings than anybody else in the party, 300 over the past 3 years. I spent a lot of time away from home, and I felt with Brexit that my job and Nigel's job was done and we could hand on to the next generation. That doesn't seem to have been the case, and maybe it's time now for someone who's an older hand in many ways. You know, I was the chairman for 2 years, I was the deputy for 6. I'm very experienced, I know the party inside out. Maybe it's time for me to step in and ensure that the party comes together.
Last time you said you didn't want to do it. You told the Liverpool Echo on the 9th of July that you'd seen the toll it had taken on Nigel Farage, and that you didn't wish that to happen to your family, your loved ones and your friends. What's really changed?
The party's changed.
It needs you.
Yes, frankly, if you want me to be blunt about it. The party is facing an existential crisis, and I want to ensure that UKIP is on the pitch to kick the ball into the open net that we have in British politics. Because let's not forget, we have a Labour Party that doesn't seem to represent working people anymore, and we have a Conservative Party who, yes, are moving towards Brexit, but we've got to be there to hold their feet to the fire.
Why would you be better than Suzanne Evans?
Suzanne will be an excellent candidate, and I thought the 2015 manifesto was the best manifesto out of all the political parties. I think I would be the best candidate because of my experience and because I'm not part of any faction within the party.
Is she?
I get on, well, hang on, I get on with absolutely everybody, and I believe I can be the go-to man to bring the party together.
Do you get on with Aaron Banks, because he's supporting one of your rivals, Raheem Kassam?
I get on with Aaron Banks, yes, and Aaron is a party member, a wealthy party member, and he is able to choose whoever he wants to be the next leader of the party. But what matters is that after November the 28th, after the leadership election, we all say the past is the past. It becomes day zero for the new leader. We forget everything that's gone before, and then we move on.
But you won the referendum.
Yeah.
Mrs May's Conservative government is adopting some of your policies, like grammar schools. What's the point of UKIP these days?
Well, twofold, really. We don't have Brexit. In fact, Mrs May said she's not going to invoke Article 50 until the end of March. We don't know whether that will happen. We need a strong UKIP there in the background to ensure that Brexit really does mean Brexit and not some sort of mealy-mouthed version that will please nobody. And equally, we have a huge opportunity in working-class communities where the Labour Party no longer represent them. And I believe that UKIP can become the patriotic voice of working people.
Are you a bigger threat? If you were leader, would UKIP be a bigger threat to Labour in the north than the Tories in the south?
Well, you say Labour in the north, and people always tend to make that mistake, you know, the north or the Midlands. There's working class communities right across the country. Working class communities in Bristol are just the same as working class communities.
Yeah, but you're second in a number of northern
Newcastle.
seats.
We are
You're not second in Bristol.
We are second in a number of northern seats. We're second in a number of southern seats as well. And I believe that the party can move into these communities, but it will only do so if it's on the pitch, and I am the candidate to ensure that UKIP stays in the game.
Is there not a fear among UKIP members that your party without Nigel Farage is simply dysfunctional?
Well, look, I don't think that we've portrayed a good image over the summer.
Is that called British understatement?
A bit, yes.
It's dysfunctional.
But we have to move on beyond Nigel Farage. We have to build a sensible structure within the party. In terms of the National Executive Committee, we need to ensure that our branches are ready for the fight. We need to really concentrate on local elections. And look, you know, I've got the experience. I've been there, I've done it, I've worn the T-shirt. I'm now throwing my hat in the ring, and I think I'm the only person who can keep UKIP in the game.
What role would you give Nigel Farage, if any?
Well, look, I'm going to be the candidate of compromise. I will sit down with Nigel, we will have a conversation and see what he wants to do.
Would you keep him as leader of the Freedom and Democracy group in the European Parliament?
Again, there will have to be compromise on both sides, and we will sit down and we will have a conversation about that.
Either he is or he isn't.
Well, I don't know what Nigel wants to do. Nigel might well turn around and say he doesn't want to do that anymore. I don't know.
Do you think his support, his association for Donald Trump, helps UKIP win female votes in this country?
I personally wouldn't have gone out and campaigned or said anything about Donald Trump, but I will say that Nigel actually hasn't come out and backed Donald Trump 100%, shall we say. I'll be honest with you, Andrew, I personally would not have even spoken about the American election because I think the two candidates are quite appalling.
Just finally, we're going about 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Just sum up for us, if you win, what would be the hallmark of your UKIP leadership?
Well, the first couple of months will be ensuring that UKIP unifies, okay?
Right.
Saying no to factionalism, bringing people together, Nigel Farage, Douglas Carswell, Suzanne Evans, Raheem Kassam, all of the MEPs, and ensuring that actually UKIP can move forward, because if UKIP doesn't unify, UKIP will not be around for much longer, I'm afraid.
All right. Paul Nuttall, thanks.
You didn't frankly have the balls to put country before party.